All right, so I ask you to read What is Colonialism by Erin Blakemore. She's a writer of history, humanity, culture, and the unexpected. Her work has appeared in the Washington Post, NPR, National Geographic, and the Atlantic. Oh, gosh, how do I spell that? And she has a bachelor's degree in history from UCLA. Okay, this piece shows up in National Geographic's What is Colonialism? The History of Colonialism is one of brutal subjugation of indigenous people. She defines colonialism as control by one power over a dependent area of people. It occurs when one nation subjugates another, conquering its population and exploiting it, often while forcing its own language and cultural values upon its people. That's really important. It's not just about the ways that colonial power comes in and conquers, it's about the little nuances of the conquering, the destruction of language, the destruction of history, the removal of artifacts, the erasure of identity are all a part of the colonial violence that happens. Colonialism is closely linked to imperialism, which she defines as the policy or ethos of using power and influence to control another nation or people that underlines colonialism. Imperialism often is used to justify the movement or expansion of the West to the so-called Dark East, or a global expansion of the West to these other so-called uncivilized spaces. So she articulates two phases of modern colonialism: the age of discovery. The age of discovery begins with Portugal as the catalyst in around 1415, in their exploration and conquering of North Africa, which kicks off the empire that would last until 1999. We see Columbus in 1492, who lands in the Americas, kicking off the Spanish Empire. European colonies arrive in the New World and begin to grow in the um, 1415 and 1600s. Um, we have the American Revolution of 1776, which is uh, which was from 1775, 1776 to 1783. And it was the fight for the colonies against British rule and colonial power. Through the American Revolution, the American colonies, which later become the United States, gained their independence. Another successful revolution was the Haitian Revolution against the French. It was a successful insurrection by self-liberated enslaved people against French colonizers. However, Haiti still is under both France and United States economic colonial rule. So then the second wave is the scramble for Africa, which occurs during the 1884 conference in Berlin. She doesn't specifically say these. She just writes that starting in the 1800s, European nations focus on taking over African lands, racing one another to covet natural resources and establishing colonies that they would hold until the international period of decolonization. That period begins in 1884 with the Berlin Conference. She offers some justifications for conquest by the colonizers. I want you to know those. How important was resistance to the story of colonialism? You cannot tell the story of colonialism without telling the active resistance and rebellions that were always prevalent during the period of colonialism. It's often erased from colonial memory when the West tells its story, but when you look at the fuller, more nuanced history, you know that there was always resistance and rebellion to colonial rule. She offers some benefits for colonialism, so I want you to know those, and also some harms of colonialism and colonial impacts. So I want you to know those as well. And I'll go ahead and end this here.